So today is 6th of January, and we will talk about the first news that is coming from the Supreme Court of India. The Supreme Court of India have cleared the plan for the Parliament building to be constructed, and they have said that the Central Vista building could be constructed. Now, when this was asked for the Supreme Court that this money that has been used for this particular project should be diverted to some other project, the Supreme Court have asked in explanation or given an explanation that this does not involve the major change of the land use, and therefore they cannot ask the government, which is beyond the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court, to basically divert the money from one project to another. It is the prerogative of the executive who will present over there, and they can use the money in whichever way they want. So this is a majority decision. Although the another one, the minority judgment that was there, is the participation in the deliberation. They says that none of the objections and the suggestions that were presented by any of the environmentalists or any of the persons who have objected to the project were never given consideration by the government. And this is not a deliberative democracy. Although we are a democracy, but this is not a deliberative democracy. Okay. The next one is the Pune hub to track vaccine chain across 41 cities. So this agency has been given a power, and there will be manufacturer who will have insulated vans. They will be sent to airports, and from airports they will be sent to the major towns, for example, Karnal, Mumbai, Chennai, and Kolkata, and then will be sent to the 37 state store where the vaccine will be kept out. Okay, that is how the program is going to work, and the cool trolleys, express lanes will be used to facilitate the transport at the airports. तो ध्यान के डिटेल में जाने की जरूरत नहीं है. Next one is the states on alert as the fear of the bird flu grows. So in Kerala, Pongtam, Tamil Nadu, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Bihar, and some part of Haryana, there have been huge amount of deaths. In Haryana, there are approximately 28,000 deaths who have been occurred. So that have actually created a major set of problem. In HP, 2,000 birds have died because of the bird flu, and the strain has been found. So there are a lot of birds who are currently dying, and the alert has been issued in the different state regarding the birds who have died over there. Okay. The next one is the India's recovery bucks global trend. So this is said by Finance Ministry. Now in the second wave, as the world is dealing with the second wave of the coronavirus strain, the Finance Ministry have said that India is on the path of a V-shaped recovery, and within the new year, we are going to implement the policies with optimism and the new features and the hope. When we talk about agriculture sector, there is 3.4% growth that we are currently seeing in the first quarter and the second quarter. And that is also evident from the increasing rabi sowing, the tractor sales, and also the fertilizer consumption that has increased. Now, with respect to the MSP, the demand for the agriculture sector has also been overwhelmingly increasing. And then we have MG Narega that is there, and the vaccination drive that is currently going on, which will actually fuel the economy in a manner that it needs to be fueled. Okay. So I hope this is clear. The next article is, I think directly we will go to articles. Yeah. The dark step of writing hate into law. Now, very, very nicely written article by Shima Chistiji. Now, what this particular author have written, she talks about, starts from the introduction, that Chaudhary Charan Singh, when he was the former Prime Minister, he made a proposal to the Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru in 1954. When Chaudhary Charan Singh was not Prime Minister, in 1954, he made a proposal to Jawaharlal Nehru that the gazetted jobs can only be given to those persons who will marry outside their caste. Now, we have come up a full circle against that. And in that particular part, when we talk about UP, the laws of prohibition of anti-conversion or the anti-conversion law basically criminalizes interfaith marriages. And therefore, the pretext is that they want to protect the Hindu woman. And therefore, there are various issues that have risen up to them. Now, I hope you understand the various issues with respect to the Article 25, because we have yesterday completed Article 25 of the Indian Constitution. I told you that there are 4 ways in which the Article 25 guarantees individual right for conscience, professing, propagating, and promotion. So these are the 4 things around which the person have a conscience. Now, Seema Chishti says that this is an attack on the personal conscience of a particular person, and therefore the fundamental right Article 25 has been objected. When we talk about in 1872, there was Keshav Chandra Sen who was asked for the withdrawal of the law of interfaith, in which the British government had prohibited the marriages that were interfaith, and he called upon the British government because change of religion is a right of conscience. Therefore, every person, whenever he want to change his religion, should be able to make the decision on its own. Okay. And after the independence, there was Special Marriage Act that was enacted. When we talk about the law that was given in 1954 Act, there was also intrusion by the state because notices have to be put in advance, and the intention was correct, but it was misused by certain radical elements from the society. The intention at that particular time in 1954 was just to ensure if that particular person had any living spouse or had any children alive at that particular present who can object to the marriage of that particular person from the different caste or from different religion. Or sorry, not from the different caste, but only from the different religion. But right now it has been misused by the fundamentally very unnecessary things. So then she talks on explaining about what is fundamentally wrong with this article. She says that the Article 25 of the Constitution basically provides the rights and obligations or the restrictions on the rights of communities, that the Hindu community as a whole cannot marry, or a girl from the Hindu community cannot marry any person with the Muslim community if she wants to change religion Hindu to Muslim. Okay? That is one of the objectives that the law says. Now, this particular person says that the rights that are available to the individual cannot be enacted in the form of the communities. Now, there will be some person who will be objecting this, that there are many community laws who are present in the constitution. For example, the personal laws of untouchability, the personal law of freedom, and the personal law of managing the education institution and all other things. But this person make it clear that whenever we talk about a community, the community is based or is wholly discriminated against the individual. In this particular case, there is no discrimination with the individual, neither the discrimination with the community. But then again, you are making a whole law for whole of the community. However, the exercise of that particular provision or the exercise of that particular fundamental right had to be done by an individual on his own conscience. Okay, so the autonomy of the individual has been broken, which is just saying that the state is telling the individual that you cannot change to Muslim, you cannot change to Sikh, you cannot change to some or cannot adopt some other religion that you want to do. Now, with respect to right to privacy, she says that this also is against the objection of 217, which is a fundamental right. And although the right to privacy is needed to be filled with different clauses, for example, the proportionality of the information that you are taken, the reasonableness of the benefit that you're taking, and how much interference is allowed to you so that you can interfere in that. These are some of the things that are needed to be looked for. When we come to religion, right to religion under 25, it is own exercise, and none of the other agency should have anything to do with what my religion is, because what is my conscience is completely up to me. I hope to understand now Article 25 because we have already covered it in the polity. I am not going to let you understand what is Article 25. So it is equally important for all. Therefore, by any force, allurement, coercion or any pressure, they are not accepted as a ground, because the Supreme Court already recognized that whatever the freedom of conscience to you is same enjoyed by the freedom of conscience by another person. So what is the cost of inaction right now that we have not objected? She talks about, she have compared it with the Nazi threat. She says that whenever there is a majoritarian communal hatred, the policies and the laws are also framed in the same manner. And as the BJP have come up to the forefront, they have provided for the majority communal hatred that is being propagated by the BJP. And when it is asked that where is love jihad, the government have not able to provide any evidence with respect to the love jihad. Therefore, the acquired data that is currently not available is similar with the Nazi mentality, because whenever the Hitler was there, Hitler tried to propagate the same idea. They tried to discount the contribution of the other communities. For example, the Jews who were there, they completely restricted the intermarriages between the caste. And this is what the Modi government is doing. And at that particular time, if Hitler or the laws has been objected by some of the people, the things that had happened in Germany would similarly happen in India. And there will be either the conversion of the Muslim, or either they will have to hide themselves from the Hindu majority. Okay, so that is what they have said. Now, next one is the shock treatment will not work in agriculture. You will read this on your own. Nothing is new in that. Everything that we have explained earlier is contained in this particular article. The next one is the hurdles in the G power for the power ambition. Now, what does this article deals with? This article tells us that what are the problems in front of the Mr. Xi. Okay? So Yogesh Gupta have only given a larger amount of problems. He have not given the minimum amount of problem. I will explain you all the problems that China is currently facing with respect to the world scenario. No need to get into detail. Okay? And also the next article is also not, I think the two countries shared past and need to chart a different shared future. That is also the close collaboration that we are currently having with the United Kingdom and other things. So only the last paragraph of this article is important. But first of all, let's talk about the hurdles in the G great power ambition. So what are problems with China? What is the objective of China and how they are going to achieve that? That is how this article particularly revolves. So he says that in 2014, Mr. Xi Jinping have said that they want to revamp as the foreign power and therefore it is time for big diplomacy now. We will not be only confined to China only or the development of the China only. We will try to demand our fair share in the world with respect to the policies or the things that are going in the world. So the isolation of the China because of the COVID has needed to be maintained. There is a cheap migrant labor because the labor in the China has become costly now. So therefore also management of the migrant labor or the outsourcing of the project to some other countries is also needed. Then there is making allies. The supremacy of the 5G, AI, quantum computing, stealing of the technologies are all the problems. The other major object is the border road, not the border road organization, but the Belt and Road Initiative that was announced in 2013, in which the China is gaining prominence or increasing infrastructure in different countries so that it can gain new markets and therefore strategically use the military and the power and the money in the way that they are desired. With respect to the socialism, the Chinese characteristics has been asking for the equality with respect to the improvement in education, with respect to the decreasing of the poverty, with respect to the elimination of the competition around the world, and also with respect to the status that they had in the world. Although if all the problems are being managed, there is one problem that still remains to be resolved, and that problem is getting allies on the international platform. When we talk about the major superpowers of the world, for example, the countries who dictate the major policies around the world, Britain, France, China, Germany, Italy, India, Russia, South Korea, Japan, Australia. These are some of the countries who are dictating what the cues will be played and how they will be played. But in that particular major countries, China does not have a major support, and the two major ally of China, Pakistan and North Korea, does not have much acceptance in the world. So therefore it is also going to create much trouble. Okay, इसको छोड़ दीजिए. Next one is the changing contours of India-US ties. Now, why Mr. Johnson is selected, this is not important. You just go to the close relations that is in the last paragraph. So there is 500,000 person of Indian origin who reside in Britain. 500,000 is approximately up to 50,000 person, and some of them as the member of parliament, 3 in the cabinet and 2 holding the high offices of the finance and the home minister. And there are approximately 30,000 Indians who are studying in Britain despite the restrictive opportunities for the post-graduation employment. Britain is among the top investors in India, and India is the second business investor in the major job creation in Britain. So there is a credit balance in the total trade of 16 billion. Okay? So these are some of the things that you should remember. इसके notes बना लीजिएगा, इतना important नहीं है. Next one is the PM inaugurates Kochi-Mangaluru LNG pipeline. So what is and why this particular pipeline is important? It is a natural gas pipeline. And what is the target of India to increase the natural gas pipeline? The target of India is to increase the natural gas pipeline from 6% to 15% by 2030. And the ethanol blending needed to be ensured from 5% to 20%. Okay, that are the two major objective policies that Mr. Modi have announced. Further, he have told the people that there will be largest hybrid power plant of the world that will be inaugurated in Gujarat, which will include both the facilities of the wind and solar. Okay, so 10,000 is the maximum amount of the natural gas station will be built on this natural gas based destination. Okay. The next one is the 2-day Asian water world census off to a flying start. So this is Asian waterbird census that will be conducted in India by Bombay Natural History Society. So this Natural History Society is situated in Kolkata around the regions of Odisha and Andhra Pradesh. So Koringa, Koleru and Krishna, these are the sanctuaries who are located in Andhra Pradesh. ठीक है, तो इस बात को ध्यान रखिएगा. Further moving on, Union Budget will be presented on February 1 and this has been set by the Cabinet Committee on Political Affairs. So the House will come to session on 29th of January and on March 8 to April 9 they will be functioning. There will be Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha who will be there meeting alternatively. Both the houses not be meeting in the same manner. I hope you understand what are the reasons behind it. The COVID. The next news is related to the government launches hackathon for toys. So now market of toys is approximately $1 billion market and 80% of the Indian toys are being imported. So to change this particular scenario, the Indian government is pushing for toycathon and they will try to build the toy on the basis of the cultural ethos, local folklore and the basic values of the Indian society, and therefore the manufacturing hub will also be promoted. The next one is the US India Cooperative of LAC Action. This has been said by Kenneth Juster. So whether this is true, whether this is not true, we do not know, but this is the issue that they have made a blatant eye, of course, to irritate China. इसको छोड़ दीजिए, इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है. Further moving on, Gulf leaders signed deal to end years of long dispute. So this was a dispute between Qatar and Saudi Arabia. I hope you understand there were two major powers in the Gulf region. We have already talked about them. There was Saudi Arabia and Qatar. Now Qatar has been often accused by Saudi Arabia that they are sponsoring some of the terrorist activities in the region such as Iraq, in Libya and in Yemen. So Qatar should stop this, and therefore certain countries who were allied with Saudi Arabia, for example UAE and all other countries, they came into the forefront and they cut ties with Iraq, therefore banning the airspace and banning the ships and banning the people from moving here to there and also banning of the trade and all other issues. Now there have been two countries, for example Qatar and Oman and Kuwait. So they intervened in between the two countries. They talked for negotiations, and after the negotiations they were basically able to resolve the disputes that they had in between, and now they are starting again cooperation. So basically this is a strategy to eliminate Iran or keep Iran on the sidelines. Okay? Because whole focus of the Gulf countries right now is on Iran. So how to eliminate the how to eliminate the enemies? Firstly, make their friends your friends. Once you make their friends your friends, they will become neutral, if not sided with their friends. Okay? So I hope this is clear. Next one is the Indian Gift Help Sri Lanka COVID-19 fight. So this is the ambulance service that was launched in 2016 and it is called as Suva Syria and was launched in 1919. In India in 2016 has provided $756 million of free services with the help of Tata and all other companies. Now this has helped Sri Lanka in providing or carrying some of the people who has been affected of the COVID to the nearest hospital and also provided treatment in the vaccine for the over last 5 years. So that is a success story. That is what we called as high impact projects. Okay? This is how we basically help the countries. These are high impact project level 1. Okay? This is not level 2. I hope you have heard this particular word, high impact projects. These are high impact projects that is helping the society in education, in health, in water scarcity, or in certain other things that are desired by the people of that particular country. The next news is global India output set to expand in fiscal year 2022. This has been said by World Bank. Now, World Bank is of the opinion that India will be expanding by 5.4% in fiscal year 2022 and 5.2% in fiscal year 23. The contraction will be 9.6% in fiscal year 2021 because of the huge drop of minus 23.3%. So basically we can understand that by 2024, whatever level that we have achieved in the year 2019, only that will be recovered. And we will not be growing on the similar path as we used to be earlier. Okay, so I think that is it for today. Yeah. तो आज के लिए इतना ही है. फिर next lecture में we will start the same.